Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the daily discussion for the 28th of October, 2014. My name is Tuskeh, and today we shall be discussing, well, me, for the first time. So this is going to be a bit strange, I think, but I want complete transparency for this channel, and I've said over and over again, like in all the different advertisements I make for the channel, which admittedly is only the channel trailer, but, it's an advert. People will see it, so, like I said, I want complete transparency. I don't want to bullshit anyone on this channel. I figure it's only fair to let you folks know what my situation is, since, well, especially recently, I've been receiving a lot of comments and messages that seem a little bit confused. Obviously, with my accent, I am English, but I play on the US servers, and occasionally I mention that I live in America, and what the hell? Yeah, it's a pretty complicated situation, and I won't talk about it forever and ever and ever, but I figure it's only fair to let you folks know what's going on. I think especially recently a few people have started to notice, a few commenters have started to notice some of the comments that I make in my WoW live series, especially when I'm raiding with my guild. Because there, everyone knows about me and my situation, and we make fun of it a lot, and we tell jokes, and we talk, and stuff like that, so I'm very at ease around them. And of course, since I'm recording them, you folks hear it, and a few of you are just like, what? So let's just go through it, shall we? So, I'm just gonna tell you my story. It's not gonna be amazingly interesting, I think. Well, I don't think it is, but it might be. And hopefully it won't be too long. So, like I said before, my name is John, and I currently live in America, although I haven't lived here for very long. So I was born and raised in England, in the southeastern part of England, and I was a normal child, basically. That was just kind of it. I discovered that I was gay when I was about 15 years old, and that's just been a part of my life since then. But really, I found a calling in media when I was in college, especially. Now, if you're in the US, when I say college, I basically mean high school. There's a lot of translation difficulties between the US and England, but basically, I mean high school if you're in the US. I did the whole A-level, AS-level thing in college, which was 2 years, and in the first year, you take 4 subjects, 4 topics, and then in the second year, you take 3, and you kind of focus a little bit more on those. So I took psychology, sociology, health and social care. I know, aren't I an amazing individual? Aren't I just so interesting? Psychology, sociology, and health studies. That is the most boring thing in the universe, actually, right now. But I had to take a 4th topic, and I was thinking, well, I don't really know what else I want to take. I kind of want to get into these different things, so I'll just take media. I made a couple of World of Warcraft videos back then, because I was annoyed at a lot of kill videos in Ice Crown Citadel, having, like, really heavy dubstep music and electro music and lyrics and stuff, and I was annoyed at that. I thought, it should be immersive, and, people should be able to enjoy it like they're there. So that's kind of why I make my kill videos as I do now, but that's not my point. My point is that I kind of liked media. So I took media as a 4th subject. And then, during my first year of college, a lot of bad family stuff happened. There was a minor health incident, and I basically ended up flunking nearly a month, which destroyed my scores, as you can imagine. It completely annihilated any chances I had of, doing well in college. So at the end of the year, after all the terrible exams had ended, I thought to myself, right, this is not going well. I need to start again. And I thought to myself, having done sociology, psychology, and health studies, I just wasn't enjoying them. I just was not enjoying them. So I thought, well, I really liked media. I really did. So I started investigating, and I realized you could take what's called a BTEC in media, which is basically 2 years and nothing but media. And you just basically cover every aspect of it. And I was completely in love with the media industry at that point, and I thought, yeah, that's a great idea. So I went and I got all that sorted out, and then I restarted college. So I spent those 2 years studying the media industry that I loved, and came out the other end absolutely hating the media industry. There's a lot of reasons for that, but I really don't like the way the generic, I'm going to call it, media industry does things, which is part of the reason why I'm on YouTube. But that is not why I'm in the US. No, I moved to America because during my first year of college, just before I actually started college, I met someone via World of Warcraft. And you might hear someone in the background in some of my raid videos. When I'm doing a WoW live on a raid, you might hear someone talk in the background very faintly while I'm also talking, and then it'll also appear over vent. That's because that's the person that I met through WoW, right there. And he's called Steve. And, we did the whole, oh, I'm so madly in love with you kind of thing. But, long distance relationship, UK to US, not so easy. But, it went pretty well for a few years, and I went through college and all that, and then after I finished college, I thought to myself, I don't want to go to university, I want to live with this guy, because I love him. But it was a very complicated situation at that point because of and as someone pointed out in the comments a couple of times, the legal situation regarding gay marriage in the US is kind of, well, upside down. It's really, really strange. It's changing for the better, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but basically there is this act. It's called DOMA. It's called the Defense of Marriage Act, and it basically says, fuck gay people. That's basically what it says. Basically, it stops gay people from getting married. And I was perhaps the luckiest bastard in the universe, because shortly after me and my husband-to-be decided we wanted to live together in the US, DOMA was revoked. And by that, I mean it was basically struck down. It was removed from federal law. So I could basically apply to become a permanent resident in the US. I could apply for what's called a green card. You might have heard of this before. It's basically, a green card is a little card that says, yeah, you're allowed to live here permanently. And once you live here for 10 years, you become a permanent citizen just because you've lived here for so long. It's called naturalization. So I'm currently in the process of becoming naturalized, apparently. Hopefully I don't die and draw 2 cards. Hearthstone reference. It's a very complicated process. It really, really is. And so I moved to the US in 2013, and we started to apply for the whole green card process because we were lucky enough to get our hands on a lawyer. I know we needed a bloody lawyer for this, who basically was able to say, yeah, you can come to the US and then get married here, and you can live here while you do the whole process, and it makes it so much easier. So we did that, and really the whole thing went quite well overall. I've got a lot of horror stories about it, some of them really funny and some of them quite dreadful, and there was a lot of driving around to different cities and going all over the place, going to a different state because the one we were in at that point didn't approve of gay marriage, and it was really complicated. But basically the end result was I got my green card. I did the interview, we convinced the federal government that, you know, we're actually real, and that was it. I began my life in America. And shortly after that, I decided to get into YouTube. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. But that is the situation in terms of my personal life, and that's kind of all the detail I'm going to get into. I'm married, happily, have been so for a little bit now. So working on that. But as for YouTube, I decided to get into it because really of a lot of other YouTubers out there. People like Total Biscuit and Preach and Fat Boss and Jesse Cox and a lot of those kind of different people. People on YouTube that are basically really good people. And of course, Day9. How could I forget Day9? He's a bloody amazing person, Day9. And people like that who are really kind and who are really smart and who just encourage people that watch their content to be the best people that they can be. And for that reason, I just thought to myself, well, you know, I could do that. I think I can do that. And I saw a lot of guides on YouTube for different things, and I thought to myself, I can do that better. Because I like to think that I'm a smart person, and I've done editing before a lot, and I'm quite good at it, so I could basically just do the whole process myself. And that's one of the reasons why I got into YouTube. Another one is, of course, because I don't like the media industry, and YouTube is a great platform for up-and-coming, basically, successes to happen. And hopefully this channel does become a success. I think it's getting there, I really do. And I think things are going really well. And one other reason I got into YouTube is really because the financial situation of the household that I'm in allows me to. And I'm really, really, really lucky in that regard, because a lot of people don't have the chance to just basically stay at home and work on videos all day, because that's what I do. I work really, really hard every day on all these videos. It's not easy, by the way. It really is not. But I'm really lucky because of this situation that I'm in. And everyone around here, I mean, not only my husband, but his whole family has accepted me and allowed me to work on this rather than, you know, getting out there and finding a job at Wendy's or Walmart or Giant Eagle or some other horrible place where I would just feel like a complete drone. I didn't want to do that. I just did not. I absolutely hate that whole thought. And I want to avoid that as much as I can. And that's another reason why I got into YouTube, is because I just could. Because I was in a situation where I could. And that brings me to the main reason why I got into YouTube, and that's because I wanted to, really. It's kind of like a dream. Believe me though, I know how difficult it is, and I know how difficult it's going to be, especially if the channel starts doing well, how much hate I'm going to receive, how much of a thick skin I'm going to have to develop, and it's not going to be easy. Of course it's not. Of course it's not. But I'm going to do my best to foster a community that is not hateful, is not judging, is not narrow-minded, and who is just genuinely awesome. And that's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to help create a community. I wanted to work on something that could, you know, pay me money for my work, not because I'm working for some massive company, but because I am making things that people want to see, that people will see a video that I've made and go, oh, that's a video I want to watch. And they will watch it. And hopefully they'll watch all of it, or most of it, and they'll go, yeah, this guy makes stuff that I like to watch. I will subscribe to him. And maybe in the future we can set up things like, I don't know, Patreon or donations. I don't want to rush into it. I really don't. Because I just don't want to be a money grubber. I really don't. I just want to be someone who makes cool videos, makes videos that I want to make, and hopefully because I want to make them and I want to see them, other people will think, hey, that's stuff that I want to see, and they'll subscribe to me, they'll give me their feedback, they'll tell me what they want me to make, and they'll give me their support. And I know that there are people out there right now who would be more than happy to, you know, for instance, donate through Patreon or donations or other things like that. And that's awesome. But really, all I want right now is to start building a community, to just have a good old chatter through the comments, and maybe we can start getting a forum started sometime during Warlords of Draenor. That would be really cool. That would be so amazing. Yeah, that's basically it. I want to keep this nice and short. That's my story, really. It's not amazing, it's not interesting, and I might have rushed it a little bit, and I probably missed out on quite a few of the details. But I didn't want... Well, first of all, I didn't want to reveal too much, because it is still my personal life, and hopefully you'll understand if I'm not going to spill all of that out onto the internet. But I just wanted to really be fair to you guys and let you know what my situation is, because I know a lot of you are probably a little bit confused. English person in the US, that's why I'm in the US, because I fell in love with someone and I moved here. That's why, really. And so I'm making my life here. And hopefully this YouTube channel will take me where I want to go, which is, you know, just making a bit of money. That's basically what this is for. I mean, if you're surprised by that fact, if you're surprised that I'm doing this to make money, of course there are other reasons, but the whole money aspect is one of the biggest parts of it, then it's a bit ignorant, I have to say. Because money is important, and I want to support the people that I love. I want to support my husband, his family, and my family back in England. And I want to, and of course, by the way, I do miss England. I really do. I could make a whole bloody video telling you what I miss about England. But that's my point. I want to make money so that I can help people, so that I can help the people and support the people that I love. And I think that this is a good way of doing it, because I'm making content that people like, and hopefully I will continue to do so, and that's just kind of it. And hopefully you guys will continue to support me in this endeavor, and to all of you that have, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I say once again, every single time you subscribe or you leave a comment, I see it, I read it, and if it's a nice comment, I will be very happy about it, and I will probably reply. So, there you go. That's it. So that's it for today's daily discussion. It was a little bit strange, but I felt like I wanted to just get it out there and let you folks know what my situation is, and so there'll be less confusion, and so we can press on into Warlords of Draenor with a little bit less confusion together. So if you have any suggestions for topics, or you wish to send me your questions to answer on the daily discussion, you can contact me using the links in the description, or you can just leave a comment. Before we go, let's have the piece of music for the day. So, with the whole Draenor thing starting, and every time you log on you see that big old dark portal, I think it's about time we listen to something a little bit old, a little bit retro, and that's from the Burning Crusade. Quite old now, but the music for the Burning Crusade is kind of amazing. This is the main theme. It's called the Burning Legion. It plays during the log-on screen for the Burning Crusade, and damn, it is awesome. And it really kind of evokes a similar kind of feel to the piece of login music that we have right now, just kind of going into an unknown world. Although admittedly Outland is much less savage than Draenor is going to be, apparently. So that is the piece of music for today. Hopefully you'll enjoy that, and thank you very much for watching, and I wish you the best of luck with your gaming endeavors.